Okay, it's John the Van Guy. This is today's job. I'm going to bite the bullet and take the gearbox out. So what I thought, I've been searching the forums and picked up lots of information about how to go about taking the gearbox out. Symptoms were losing first and second gear, jumping out of gear. I was at the end of the clutch adjustment underneath, and so the clutch is on its way out as well. And basically it wouldn't stay in gear, so it's been for a while. It's been knocking in first and reversed, so I've known this being an issue. So today I'm going ahead after watching loads of YouTube clips in the forum. So I thought I'd share with you some of the things I found out if you're proposing to do something similar. First of all, most important, get your car up on stands. I prefer this rather than having them on actual stands. I mean ramps, rather. I prefer this rather than having them on actual stands. I just feel a bit safer. Wear a woolly hat, kind of obvious, and it makes life a little bit easier. Right, the things you've got to do. It's not that difficult, folks, but you just got to be a bit pedantic and work your way through. So this is inside the car. I've moved the seats at the back and I've undone the panel, and this is the panel that goes all the way around to expose the gearbox top. And you can see all it is screws all the way around. That exposes the master cylinder there, you can see that. And this is the clutch pedal. And the clutch pedal has got a flat bit on it. You notice that actually comes up under the floor, so and when you're adjusting, you've got to have the floor back before you adjust, otherwise you get sort of funny results. Right, this is the exposing the linkage, the gearbox linkage bit to the clutch. So what you've got to do is, one of the things you've got to do is take off the gear stick. Looks like there's 3 bolts there, and that's about it inside, I think. Take off the gear stick. Okay, so what have we got? I'll take you around the things we've got to do. Let's go underneath now. First thing you do is, you disconnect the battery, and there's the drain plug, and you drain the gearbox oil. There's a drain plug. So I've drained the gearbox oil and disconnected the battery. Okay, so let's go underneath this baby. One thing you're going to have to do as well is have a jack here with wood holding the back of the engine here, because you're going to have to drop the front of the engine about 6 inches, and you need to support the engine on a jack and a block of wood. Okay, right. Now what you've got to disconnect, this is the clutch spring. You just pull it one end, pull that off, and this is the mechanism. So you undo this bit. It looks like a couple of bolts to undo this this linkage here. Okay. The speedo, disconnect the speedo. Disconnect the speedo link there, disconnect the earth, gearbox to body earth. Okay, now this is the cross member they talk about, which the gearbox cross member, you can see it from above as well. It's only 2 bolts at each end. You take that off because you're going to drop this whole unit, so that has to come off. There's also this looks like a steadying bar which comes off. It looks like, I think, 3 bolts, 3 I think 3 bolts holding that, so that will come off, steadying unit. Now the drive shaft or the prop shaft is here. Now that is not difficult to get off, but what they suggest is that you mark it with some sort of white marker to make sure all the flanges go back in the same place. So that's both ends. If you mark them, I'm going to use a white marker to make sure when you put it back, it's all to do with balance. Right, what else do you do when you're under here? Oh yes, let's have a look at this now, folks. Again, this is all from the forums, which I searched on YouTube clips. Right, here's the gearbox, the bottom of the gearbox, and we're lying underneath now. So what you will have to be doing, you're going to take off all the bolts all the way around, the gearbox sits on a couple of dowels. So when you're actually pulling the gearbox off, you'll have to clear the dowels. Now the other thing you're going to watch out for is if you go up here, there is you can actually see the steering rack. Now one of the dangers is that as the gearbox shoots off or comes off, if it comes off suddenly, it can crash into the steering rack and damage the housing of the gearbox itself. So which means which would be a bit of annoying, but that can happen. And apparently it's happened to quite a few people. So what you have to do, and one way to get around this, is to put a few long bolts in the top, so if it shoots forward, it doesn't shoot forward that much. A couple of long bolts once you take the other bolts out, and that will avoid that, because what you're going to have to do is to clear that steering rack. When you've undone the bolts, you're going to have to pull it forward, the gearbox forward a little bit, rotate it left about 90 degrees, and then the whole thing should just slide off. That's the theory. Yeah, so we'll see. And that's what I propose to do. Okay, that's all I can think of while I'm down there. Oh, yeah. Now they say will the exhaust need to come off as well? I forgot about the exhaust. Yeah, I might need to take the exhaust off as well, the exhaust mounting. I suppose if you're dropping yeah, you will, won't you? If you're dropping the engine, you need to drop the exhaust. That's irritating. That's another thing I've forgotten about. Okay. And if you do that in the manifold, you might have to. Yuck. Okay, we'll see about that. Well, that's where we are. Oops. Let me get out again. Okay, well I hope that helps someone. Oh yes, one final thing. When you're dropping the engine forward, one thing you've got to watch out for apparently is this heater matrix valve. This is the valve on this one. I've already replaced it once because it was leaking. So this is a new valve. It's very easy when you're leaning it forward to catch the valve onto the bottom of the box, the battery box mounting. So people say to watch out for it. Others say it's probably best just to take it off and then you don't have to worry about it. So that's another thing to be wary of. Okay, that's all. There might be something I've missed. Please let me know if I have. But don't forget to wear your woolly hat and save your forehead because you're going to bang it. Okay folks, that's all for now. Part one if you like. Thank you.